Hello, I'm Davina, and hello to all of you bold, beautiful, brilliant, and highly evolved souls. Today, I'm going to talk about going deeper into shame. And this is one of the most difficult feelings I think that humans have. Um, and yeah, I'm saying a lot of ums. I believe I'm in a really just been walloped by a shame flashback. I'm never really sure what it is, but it just feels like a wet blanket. And it's a really icky feeling. And what I've been doing in the last little while has been to really name what kind of shame that I'm feeling, and that sometimes that helps to loosen it up. And anyway, I think that talking about your shame is really kind of the way out of it, because it wants you to like hide um and keep silent. So yeah, I'm just going to go over a list of different words that I've come up with for feeling ashamed, because sometimes I feel like if I just hit on that right word, it can bring about some emotional release. And even if if you don't find the right word, or anyway, this is just an offering to you to see if this will help you at all. Um, so the first ones are just like adjectives. So I feel, of course, shameful. I feel worthless. I feel ashamed. I feel inadequate. I feel defective. I feel wrong. I feel despicable. I feel wretched. I feel loathsome. I feel useless. I feel redundant. I feel unlovable. I feel undesirable. I feel unacceptable. I feel bad. I feel terrible. I feel weak. I feel stupid. I feel ugly. I feel disgusting. I feel pathetic. That's a lot. That's a lot of different ways to express shame, and I still have more. Um, these ones are more like a noun. So I feel like a screw up. I feel like a loser. I feel like a disappointment. I feel like a piece of crap, a piece of shit. I feel like a wimp. I feel like an idiot. I feel like a troublemaker. I feel like a burden. Wow, this is heavy as I'm saying this out loud. Um, and I have one more short list here. I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm falling short. I feel like I'm getting it wrong. I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I'm missing something. Shame is a really powerful emotion. And it was caused by our parents' abusive and invalidating and neglectful care. It was because they were insensitive and disrespectful and unskillful and unaware. And all they could do was to pass that on. And this shame has probably been passed down for generations and generations and generations and generations, and I don't know how long. And you are the first one to go, I'm not passing this down. I'm going to heal this. This really sucks. This beyond sucks to feel this. Um, but you are amazing, because you are saying, no, I am going to be the cycle breaker. I am going to be the one who doesn't pass this on to other people, to my children, to my friends, to my coworkers, because if you're feeling shame, it will leak out in some way, especially if you're unaware of it. Even as I'm aware of it, I notice I'm like judging or criticizing people when I feel shame. Like it's in my head, it's mental, but it's still there. Um, and so that's, the outer critic. So we have the inner critic, and when you have the outer critic, all due to this feeling of deep and sometimes unbearable shame. And our parents could not tolerate it at all. So when we were crying, or when we had a behavior that they didn't like or couldn't cope with, or didn't know how to deal with, they would blame us, shame and blame us. And in particular, of course, the scapegoat got heaped on, with so much shame, so much blame, that it was their fault. And so it's really important to understand that the abuse was not your fault, and that you're not a despicable person. You're not a loser. You're not weak. Um, you're not bad. You're not unlovable. You're all the opposite of that. You are, you are just a curious, and I see this in the children that I, care for. They're, just curious, full of energy. They have such a desire to learn, and they're so pure, so innocent. They drop things on the floor. They don't, they're not thinking, like, they're not trying to, get anybody or anything. They're just like, oh, let's see what happens when I drop this, my water bottle on the floor or whatever. And, if a parent feels shame, they will shame that child. They will say, what's wrong with you? Or what are you doing? And I already told you not to drop things on the floor. That's all a narcissist parent has, is just shaming, blaming, invalidation, threats and intimidation, mocking, teasing, all of it. Of course, all of it. You grew up like that. And it's important, I think, especially for me, I don't know for you, but to, like, constantly, again and again, like, I need to remind myself of this, that, like, even just going over this in this video, it's like, yes, this is why I feel shame, because my parents did this. Okay, this is not me. I am not shame. I am not shameful. I feel shame because my parents treated me like crap much of the time. And sometimes it was more subtle, just not responding. That's a clever one, right? I think I got that quite a bit, just being dismissed or being ignored. And of course, I'm going to feel ashamed. Of course, I'm going to think, what's wrong with me? Or don't you love me? Or, this is a natural reaction to being mistreated. And a child only thinks, like, oh, it must be me. They don't think, oh, it could be my parents. Of course, they don't have that understanding. So it's immediately, internalized, and thinking, like, yeah, I must be unlovable. I must be unworthy. I must not be, doing the right thing or whatever. So yeah, it's just when you name the shame out loud, talk to someone about it, say, hey, call a friend if you have a friend. um, say, I'm feeling ashamed. And as soon as you start saying it and talking about it, somehow it starts to just get a little bit of space, and it doesn't feel so like a wet blanket, or like a dark cloud is, like, following you around. And yeah, it can be really hard to even, like, get out of the house sometimes for me, because I don't know, I'm starting to think that this is maybe just shame and not necessarily tiredness. It all seems to sort of blend together, and I don't know what's what. Because shame can definitely feel also like tiring. And then I think, well, is this brain fog? Is this, I don't know. And sometimes maybe it doesn't matter. It's just being with it. And yeah, if you can, like, talk about it. I think this world is, everyone feels shame, every single person on this planet. And yeah, you are the one that has made that choice to heal. And I think all people will eventually go through this awakening. And you're brilliant, and you're brave, and you're very, very, very strong to be holding this. and to be working through it rather than to, um, you know, heave it out onto others. So you are a beautiful and amazing person. And as tough as this is, I tell myself this is the only way. This is the only way to go. There's no other shortcut. There's no like today I'm just fighting it. I'm like, no, I don't want to feel this. Um, but there really is, yeah, I think it's just a one-way kind of street, you know. Once you start unraveling, it just keeps going. Um, I'm I'm really wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And yeah, you are worthy. You're completely enough. And in fact, you're way more than enough. You're a beautiful human being. And I am Davina, that boldness blooming.